I was reflecting on, like, I was in this point in my life where, like, I wasn't finished college. I don't know what my future is gonna look like. A lot of these things that were just giving me a ton of anxiety.
They gave up their family, they gave up their friends, they gave up their country, they gave up their wealth. They moved to a place where they didn't know the language, or didn't have an education, or they didn't have any friends,
Yeah.
no understanding, all for the sake of Allah.
So let's say I have the manufacturer, top quality person. I have the guy, he's done this thing for about years, for a decade, multi-millionaire. But due to some issues, health issues, he's not able to continue it.
Yeah.
Teaching like always. Assalamu alaikum.
Like, Sam, bro, see you. Yo. See you. The OG camera.
Assalamu alaikum. So, Haseeb, tell me what's going on. What are you up to nowadays?
Man,
Don't worry about the camera and the lights. It's just for show. Yeah. It's just for show.
yeah, man. Just grinding,
Although
trying
you're
to.
not 30, you said?
Yeah, I just turned 30,
MashaAllah.
like 2 months ago.
Allah Mubarak. I just turned 37 today.
Mashallah, happy birthday.
Thank you. Thanks. It's crazy to be 37 years old.
How does it feel to be on the other end of being closer to 40? Are you reflecting on that?
Normally I get pretty reflective around my birthday anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I have 2 kids, I'm getting a little more reflective.
Yeah.
I'm starting to realize that probably greater than half my life is past. I'm living in the part of my life where, alhamdulillah, I still have my health.
Yeah.
And you start thinking, like, what's important?
No.
Who's important? Why things are important? I was talking to my cousin, from my cousin. I was talking to Wakas earlier. Sometimes it's the people who you've known the longest. They're the ones who are the quickest to shit on you.
But it's good though.
And it's the people that you don't know, or you haven't known, like, that aren't like super personally close to you, that are the ones that believe in you. And it's also the people who you know the longest, who, when you need something from them, they're probably not going to be there. But when they need something from you, they will instantly remember you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the people who you don't know, when you need something from them, it's kind of probable that one of them will step up and help you.
Yeah.
Like Wakas and I didn't know each other. We just met each other 7 years ago. That sounds like a long time, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not that long. I know people for 30 years who came here at my booth and just sat around and created a mess, broke my tripods, and left. Get us. He was there.
Yeah, the whole time I'm telling him,
Let's get this moving. But like, I'm in the middle of a conversation and my friends treat this like this is their hangout spot. We're like, bro, I'm trying to record. Like, you guys shouldn't be making so much noise. And they're like sitting here and they're like, oh, get better mics. Like, what the fuck? You're like,
marketing aspect, this is the display.
it's display. You're stopping me from, like,
I mean, if they were lookers, it'd be one thing. At least then they'd be looking at the booth. But I don't know. I was here yesterday.
so it's just like, so
Oh.
sometimes you, like, as I'm 37 now, and as I'm getting older, you aren't a father yet, but inshallah, when you have kids, you should become a father. Like, when you become a dad, and my kids are looking towards me to, like, provide them, with guidance in the future, and I need to know myself, who is it that I can trust and I can't trust, and why, and kind of fix life accordingly.
Yeah.
But we're here to hear from you.
No, man. I was just so happy. So I just happened to be the booth next to you. But I was also reflecting on our relationship too. And I was like, you probably don't realize it, but you've been very instrumental in my life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And every year you've been at the ICNA convention, you've always made time for me. We talk once a year.
Once a year.
Once a year. but you've always made time for me.
Alhamdulillah.
And that is,
Appreciate it.
I'm very appreciative of that. And yeah, I was also reflecting on like what are some things that you've helped me with. I remember like one or two conversations we had. I can't remember. It was in Baltimore, definitely in Baltimore. But I was reflecting on like I was in this point in my life where like I wasn't finished college. You know, I don't know what my future is gonna look like. You know, a lot of these things that were just giving me a ton of anxiety, and I was just like, it was burdening me.
Yeah.
And I just remember you, same as you always are. You know, you're always like very, you know, measured, calm, right? I don't know if it's because you're a lawyer or what. So because
Sometimes people tell me I'm highly emotional and like on edge, but like sometimes I am calm. And people tell me, dude. Sometimes people tell me that. Other times people are like, you're high energy and like making me anxious about how better you're at.
maybe you're able to give the person what they need, right?
Alhamdulillah.
So what you gave me was a sense of calm, right? And like, hey, listen, this is a part of life. The only thing you control is your reaction, right? You're going through it regardless of whether or not you're happy, sad, mad, glad, whatever.
Yeah.
You're still going to go through it, right? Um, and I've taken that into my life and I've kind of embodied that. And my wife is always like, she's stressing, right? Like and you know, we're good with the stress, whatever. Hey, I love my wife. Cute.
I love my wife. I love my wife. My wife knows I love her to death. But my wife also knows she's very stressful.
And she's like, Haseeb, why are you so calm? Like, how do you know it's going to work out?
It's always gonna work out.
It's always going to work out. You know, if you have faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like it always works out.
That's what tawakkul is.
Yeah, it is. But I will say, like, I've seen you embody that. And I've seen many people.
Things don't always work out, man. I've been through lots of failures and lots of disappointments and discouragements and honestly sadness. I've probably dealt with several bouts of depression over the past few years. It's hard to always stay positive.
Yeah.
You know, my son was born on October 13th. So like October 7th, 6 days later, my son was born. And I see like my son is a 19-month-old kid running around, Baba, or, like, and then in Gaza, there's 19-month-old kid is not living a normal life.
Yeah.
And, we feel a sense of burden and a responsibility and fear that am I doing the right thing? Am I giving the right message? And actually, I was talking about this with my friends last night. I've been doing Islamic work for a long time, and I'm one of probably a few people that didn't really take a break in the middle.
Yeah.
Like right after getting, I kind of stick around and do other stuff. I joined my masjid board, etc. A lot of my friends, after YM, they took a break, took a detour, and now at 37, they're like telling me, "Hey, look, they've listened to Sami Hamdi saying, beep dun." So when they hear a British guy saying it, it's like, oh, he's right. And we were having this conversation last night about like, oh, we need to get involved in the masjid and we need to do stuff. Our kids are doing this. I was like, bro, I've been doing this for 10 years. Like, come through. I'm happy to have you guys. Like, I make dua for your success and barakah that you guys get involved in the community. But I think that the Muslim community is going through a transition from our elders to our generation of people who are now going to be responsible for taking the mantle of Islamic work moving forward.
Yeah.
And, a lot of the elders who founded ICNA 50 years ago, and that's the 50th convention, are passing on.
Yeah.
Dr. Khurshid Khan, Rahimullah, passed on. Brother Shamshir Ali Beg is near the end. Shamim Siddiqui passed on. The giants are gone.
Yeah.
And we are standing on the shoulders.
And
And to some degree, I kind of getting chills thinking about it. Like there is a sense of responsibility and burden. I grew up in my local masjid. My local masjid in New York City, the Muslim Center of New York, had Shamim Siddiqui, Dr. Khurshid Khan, and Shamshir Ali Beg as the local
Oh.
masjid board members and Sunday school teachers. They were literally my Sunday school teachers growing up. Like, I have been indoctrinated or influenced or, taught that this is my responsibility. It's my duty to pass this movement, this Islamic movement on to the
Yeah.
next generation
Yeah.
of people.
Yeah.
And to some degree, as a 37-year-old, I reflect on that on my birthday. It is a huge, huge sense of responsibility and a burden.
Yeah.
And I hope that we can live up to what they did because they were giants. Like they,
Absolutely.
and they barely like,
They did it while learning a completely new language.
Caleb, they gave up their family, they gave up their friends, they gave up their country, they gave up their wealth. They moved to a place where they didn't know the language or didn't have an education or they didn't have any friends,
Yeah.
no understanding, all for the sake of Allah, so that my kids could have a better future, so that we can spread this deen. And then not only did they do that, they came here and literally spread the deen for
Yeah.
50 years.
Yeah.
They have created this environment where it's like Umrah in America. That's what they
They're making a hijra.
and it's like people are coming from all over the country and some people from around the world to come to Ikhla convention. It's like they care about this movement so much that the elders instilled in them.
Absolutely.
So, and then I think, am I doing enough? Like these guys did so much. Like I'm a nobody.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm starting a podcast to try to document some of this stuff. Just so that I can have these conversations and maybe my kids, like these conversations are more for my kids than for me. I'm probably not going to watch this ever again. Like I'm not going to even watch it when it comes out. I will have a video editor edit this and like put it out. But maybe when my kids are older and are thinking, I don't know if Baba will be around. I don't know if I will be around. Who knows? At least I will have left them some piece of me
Yeah.
that they can get to know. And maybe they read, but not a lot of times people don't read.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll watch or maybe they'll listen or maybe they'll use AI to get the clip.
Modulate your voice
That's
so they
it.
can
Go
hear you all the
clip
time.
notes from AI to make this happen.
Dialforlaw.com. 833 dial for law. For law, dial for law. For law, dial for law. For all your legal needs, dial for law. Injured, dial for law. Hurt at work, dial for law. Arrested, dial for law. For law, dial for law. For law, dial for law. 833 dial for law. Dialforlaw.com.
So
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Like, so
what is this recording about? It is a conversation. So introduce yourself. Haseeb already introduced himself.
Which one is the camera? All right. Assalamu alaikum, guys. My name is Hassan Dawud. I'm actually graduating in 2 days. I have my graduation, but at the same time, alhamdulillah, started a lot of businesses, failed at a lot of them, and made money on some of them. Right now, I have a SaaS company, just scaling that to inshallah $100,000 a month. And after that, I'm trying to start other companies as well. And with me are grateful, very beautiful people. Subhan Tariq. But I'm pleasing those like amazing Bitcoin people. I guess.
Why did you want to start your own business? And what gave you the confidence to be like, you know what, I'm going to do this? At 19, 20?
No, I'm 22. Yeah. Honestly, it was when I was in 7th grade. I had a friend. His name was James. Shout out to James if he's watching. And at that time, my teacher was asking, "What do you want to do when you get older, right? And I went to Indeed.com. I looked at the profession that make the most money. It was doctor, pharmacist. I just always wanted to make more money. So I chose pharmacist. And this guy, James, he was like, you know what? He had watched the movie Wolf of Wall Street.
Uh-huh.
And, or there's like a stockbroker, $100 million, this, that. So he started painting the pictures of like helicopter, Rolls Royce. I was imagining everything. I was like, is that even possible?
And this was when you first just came to America.
Yeah, came to America. I was like a pop. It's Atlanta over.
And he's being told about all the opportunities.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, we never think big. We think the best thing you could do is just become a doctor.
We think almost what we're told that the best thing I could do is get a job.
Yeah.
And that is not the best thing you could do. The best thing you could do is take control of your life, have agency over yourself, and take control of your future.
Yeah, it's pretty much just that. And then from there, I started looking online to make money. I did everything like Shopify, affiliate marketing, email marketing. I failed at a lot of them, but that's how you learn. You build skills over time. And then, alhamdulillah, with this SaaS company we started, it started to, catch up. We actually, yesterday at the career fair, there were guys coming to me. I closed clients there too. So, alhamdulillah, everything is working out. And that's like the main reason. No, that's not the main reason. That's actually the material reason. The main reason is I love Pakistan a lot. So I want to go back.
Insert, I will give my life for Pakistan. Chicks.
And
Inshallah, that's the
he will
Why?
rule my house. Imran Khan is somehow released from prison. Even before he becomes the new prime minister, and just like there was Trump 1.0, I think there's could be. Even before he's just somehow released from prison, I'll just move to Pakistan and volunteer right now. Actually, while I was in Pakistan, I met with one of his lawyers and was trying to make that happen, but time ran out and I came back.
have you ever talked to that guy? What's it, Brister Goher? You know?
I did not meet him, but there were people trying to arrange a meeting while he's in town. But we were not able to score me a meeting while he's here.
But yeah, so that
People here, and I'm a lawyer from America, in Pakistan. Oh, well, when I'm in Pakistan, people hear that a lawyer from America has come to Pakistan. And not just like anyone. Like, I have my own law firm. My office is up on Avenue. I've had my own law firm for almost 11 years. I have nothing to get out of there, in the sense, like, they're like, why are you here? We are trying to go there. Why would you want here?
First of all, we're doing it from fulfillment.
Where did I come from? Who am I? How, like, my parents were born and raised in Pakistan and lived in Karachi their whole life. And my parents have never been to Lahore, ever.
There's nights or too much. I got some acid on.
Like, they've never been to Lahore. I went to Lahore twice in February of this year. So, like, we live incredibly privileged lives. And when my English is perfect. मेरी उर्दू फिर भी बिलावल की तरह है.
ठीक है, और जब ज़्यादा बारिश आते है, ज़्यादा पानी आता
लेकिन मैं पाकिस्तान गया, I was able to get by. And I don't know if you saw my vlogs, but I made a video in Gwadir. Actually, that's what inspires you to become a YouTuber. Actually, this
You make vlogs now?
happened. I was outside.
Yeah.
And I heard they were building a Gwadir Jacana pit. And I'm a poor kid from New York City. All right. But when I go to Pakistan and I see all these rich people, they're all like Gymkhana members, right? So I heard they were opening a Gwadir Gymkhana. And they were offering lifetime membership for 15 lakh rupees, which was like $5,000. So I was like, you know what? That's not terrible. Maybe I should do it. Yeah, no. It's like $1.
If you go into my bag, there's a wallet. It should have some cash in there.
The
Membership or
The membership with Wajeeh Khan was $5,000. And so I thought to myself, hey, instead of getting the membership, why don't I jump on a plane and go to Guadalajara? Check it out. Right? And they had just was fana and inbox and they had just opened the international airport in Guadalajara. And I was like, you know what, I'll go. And so the moment I started telling people that I'm going to Guadalajara, every single person, every single one was like, absolutely not. Do not go to Guadalajara. Do not go to Guadalajara.
Why? I don't
Because there's like terrorism, other stuff going on there. Well, instability. Do not go to Guadalajara. Do not go to Guadalajara. My father called me and said, you are not going to Guadalajara. Like, do not go, do not go, do not go. My in-laws, do not go. The crazy why you went to Guadalajara, all this stuff. And so I told my dad, I said, you know what? I have a solution. My solution is I'm going to keep this little camera and I'm going to record myself while I'm there. And on video, no one is going to mess with me. Oh my dad, hey, look, what I'll do is just, and I will record everything that happens. And he said, fine.
So how'd that go?
It went wonderfully. And it went so wonderfully that when I went there, Water is an incredible place. Incredible place. Beautiful landscapes, beautiful beaches. You can watch my YouTube show. And I met a NAB officer on the plane, and he introduced me to the director of operations at the port. And I got a private tour of the port of Water.
That's the Chinese people are, right?
The Chinese people are. Why? Because my English is like this. Louis Bilawals. People are like, you're not from here. Where are you from? Yeah, from America. They say, what do you do? I say, I'm an attorney. Like, what kind of attorney? I literally shoot my own practice. So where's your office? South Park Avenue. Like, they're like, oh, this guy checks all the boxes. Like, why are you here? They think that if they get to know me, and if they're friends with me, that somehow they will get to come to America. Like, I have some sort of like free card that gives me the ability to bring you. So people are super nice. Good. It was so incredible. It was everything that they do not tell you. It was opposite of everything. There was no security issue. There were no terrorism. People were incredibly nice. I went on a fishing boat and I interviewed some fishermen on a fishing boat. And then they made me fish. They fry fish live on the boat for me. I spoke to the customs officers. I ate the fish. I went to the beach. I went on a camel. I visited the water court because they learned I was an attorney. So they let me exit like the outside the court because the court was already closed. But if I had gone during court hours, they said we were giving you a tour. I visited the chief minister's house in Water. They let me tour outside and have a video. All because my English was the
But the question is, the question was why are we doing everything we do, and the answer was because we want to bring the change, right?
you have to be the answer.
Dr. Sabil, he came to my house. He came to our house, and he asked, "What is purpose? What is your purpose in America? Or what's your purpose as Muslim anyway?" And some people say worship Allah, this as this. I said purpose is justice. That's the purpose, to bring justice. And if you look at the life of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, we have to look at when he came, how the world was, and when he left, how the world was. So it is basically our only purpose is bringing societal change through divine justice, right? So that is my ultimate. Then what? If you ask, going back, Fox, but you say Here's the thing, though. You're saying you would go if Imran Khan really, but what if he dies? Then what?
Well, I'm talking about I would move there full time.
But how about like engaging in political?
I'm planning on going again right after Thanksgiving, and I'm planning on being there for 4 months this time, and I'll come back after Easter and maybe do Ramadan in Pakistan this year. But I'm doing it. What I'm saying, I'm just taking steps up. Like if I just shut down everything and move to Pakistan in the current condition, that would not be a smart idea. But if Khan's up somehow, inshallah, Allah is the one who provides victory, comes out, then I am willing to sacrifice my time, energy, money, and life to go and help in this pursuit of justice. Inside, right? That's what it is in partnership. And so, not gonna get sometimes you kind of sometimes the moment is bigger than you, and you are just a player in the movie, like a character in the movie. Sometimes life feels like a movie, right?
Yeah.
Like you're still very young. You're younger. He's 30. He's 22. I'm 37. So it's like a very age gap. You're still figuring out stuff. I'm still figuring stuff out at 37. And I'm a father of 2 kids. The reason why I'm trying to discover all these things is because I'm a father now, and my kids are looking to me for the answers. And my kids are confused, just as I am and was when I was their age. They're growing up in America as Pakistani American kids. Okay, now there's halal food in schools and Eid off, stuff like that. They have it a little softer than us, but still, who are you? Where did you come from? I was talking to my cousin earlier. Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, I did.
I was the one I was the one who took the name plate of my dada off his door in Pakistan when my chacha passed away, and now no one lives in the house. And so, as I was taking the name plate off the door, I was thinking to myself, man, this is like my family's history. And where did I come from? And what kind of history do I want to share with my kids?
I have a question. Where do you think Pakistani people as a nation, where are they at the scale? Do we need a political change and that's gonna fix, or we need to first work on them, bring it like a top bottom approach or bottom up approach?
Can I interject here? Sorry. I mean, I'm gonna look at the Pasta Islam as my model, right? I would say that is the definition of a grassroots movement, right? How did the Pasta Islam start in Mecca? Right,
Yes.
with one or two,
Yeah.
the people around him in very small circles, right, in his sphere of influence, right, and he built those people of excellence. Abu Bakr, radiallahu anhu, so you have these people that he built. So he built them, and then they built others. It's what grassroots movement is in it's.
Yeah.
So we're building pockets of excellence, and the hope is that excellence spreads very naturally, right? That's the hope.
It's like you must figure out that advice. And yes, it's a little bit of patchwork, but there's incredible work being done all across, like in Michigan and in Nevada and in Arizona and in New Jersey. And it may not be okay, here's our detailed 15-point plan that we're going to implement across the country, but the work is happening. The work is happening. One thing I was thinking about, and I've given some thought to it, and I'm continuing to think about it, is there. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought us here to America. Hundreds of millions of people. At least 50 million of them would probably be willing to come here if I gave them my passport and they look exactly like me.
A whole lot of them.
So, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put me here and not those 50 million people. So, and the Dawah scene in America is more robust and more dynamic than probably the Dawah scene anywhere else in the world. Maybe parts of Pakistan with certain people, like certain charismatic figures, have like a draw, like a Maulana Tariq Jamil or others, like particular people, one or two. But on the wider Dawah scene in the country, it's actually probably heading the wrong direction. Whereas if you look at Islam in America and you look around here, you see that our generation of people, like you were having a conversation, are starting to see themselves as the Muslim Americans that are from America. And my kids are a little different because they'll be
Yeah. By the way, that the taxes thing, is there Sharia law thing in Texas? I see there's this one woman. All she does is
she makes money off eating.
She probably,
you know who I'm talking about, right?
probably related to fidya and things like that, just not in a proper context.
But sometimes they say London and England is a mess because Muslims took over. And then I mean,
I say something very controversial to some degree, though, right?
yeah.
Because most of us ourselves, a lot of times we're quite jahil. We will see that Muslims would prefer to or people who we commit would prefer to double mark outside and park one block away. If you go to any Desi Muslim grocery store, you will see people double park out front, even though if you literally drive around the block, there will be parking. Right?
They want to try to wax.
Shit.
Yeah.
They think that they are so important that everyone else in the village should wait. And they don't have respect for other people. And honestly, that is the problem in those countries. And they have imported those problems to this country. Now, and some degree, Trump is right.
I mean, Pakistani people, they're like the.
Like I went to Umrah. In February. There were so many beggars. So many beggars. I have never seen that in Saudi Arabia. And 90% of Pakistan. It has become an industry. It is like we have like begging conventions, like workshops, how to beg for the beg. I have a really good close friend of mine who's an attorney in Karachi, and he showed me the beggar that is standing.
Dialforlaw.com. 833 dial for law. For law, dial for law. For law, dial for law. For all your legal needs, dial for law. Injured, dial for law. Hurt at work, dial for law. Arrested, dial for law. For law, dial for law. For law, dial for law. 833 dial for law. Dialforlaw.com.
Yes, we're reporting. I didn't want to talk to you though. Oh, sure. Talk it. What's up? Let's continue this.
Talk about supply chain.
Which is crazy.
So you caught Sticky Babe, he audited him. Yeah, supply chain. What do you want to talk about? I'm not an expert. Let me just tell you that, but I can give my experience.
That's all it takes. So let's say I have the manufacturer, top quality person. I have the guy. He's done this thing for about years, for a decade, multi-millionaire, but due to some issues, health issues, he's not able to continue it.
Yeah.
So I'm looking to make partnership with him, and he has all the connections. He has his own thing. So if I want to get into this thing, How do I get into the hospitals? What do I say to them? What do you think of the products that are trending? Or
Um, so there's two, I feel like, two ends, right? One would be obviously the cost model where you're able to provide something without reducing quality, of course. You're able to provide a cheaper product for a hospital, right? You're able to give them a deal that is beneficial to them.
which companies are they right now? It's probably the big companies.
There's tons of big ones. Baxter is a perfect example. They do a lot of IV solutions. You have Becton Dickinson. They're another big one in the Maryland area. They're huge. You have AstraZeneca, who does a lot of stuff as well. I mean, you have um, ICU Medical, another big, and Halyard. These are all brands that are a staple in many hospitals.
So is someone's telling me there are certain products that the insurance pays you, not even like the hospital, like anesthesia or stuff like that.
Yeah, so a majority of the products that come are paid for by insurance, right? Like we wouldn't be paying for things if we didn't know we were going to get reimbursed for it through insurance. There's certain exceptions to that rule. I'm not an expert on purchasing or financial agreements, but from what I understand is that certain things can't be charged to a patient, right? Like if it's related to the upkeep of the room, you don't charge that to a patient. But if it's related directly to their care, we do charge that through insurance. And obviously, it's very different in each state you're in of how they price those models out. So they may decide, well, they can make a lot of arbitrary numbers, right? They can make a lot of those arbitrary numbers. Sometimes you can get pricing agreements that, we get things for free. For example, baby formula, right? Like we get it for free as a hospital because we have an agreement that, hey, this is to provide to the patients. So we're not paying anything. We're not charging the patient for it, right? And the benefit there, like Assam. But there's a lot of different dynamics here. But if you already have a distribution set up, it could be very beneficial to start. I will call it collecting infinity stones, right? Start with one or two products, see what works. You'll probably find a need for certain demand there. I mean, I will say many health organizations, they want to.
You try to do import export of medical supplies?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm willing to help out in any capacity because that is one of the categories of items that I think Pakistan should be exporting. And I met the IT minister in February in Islamabad. And even though I'm not a current government supporter, why? Because it's not about me and it's not about her. It's about what's best in the best interest of Pakistan. Okay. So I met her and I had some very frank conversations with her too. Um, but the idea is that I gave her a written, very, very detailed proposal for the government of Pakistan to mine Bitcoin. And within 2 weeks, yeah, we're recording. Within like 2 weeks, that proposal that I gave her was also shared with the son of the current prime minister of Pakistan. And I know. That's why I didn't say his name. I said it. And apparently, from that proposal, Pakistan launched the Pakistan Crypto Council, and they put in a shitcoiner, who's this guy Bilal Saqib. So they put in it's nepotism. They put in one of their scrub person. No offense, and I'm gonna definitely cut that. But just yesterday, the government of Pakistan announced that they will take 2,000 megawatts of energy and devote it to Bitcoin mining and AI data centers. And that is literally my proposal. And the guy who sent it to the son of the sitting prime minister sent me a message saying, "Hey, this is your project." And I was sitting on the stage yesterday at the Bitcoin session when he messaged me, and he's like, "Hey, I want to connect you with Ali, who's the son of the sitting prime minister of Pakistan." Like, I want to connect you with Ali.
We're talking about Hamza fraud, right?
Huh? Yeah, yeah. Ali and they have their families, right? And uh they're like, I told them, look, I don't want any money. I don't want you to pay me a cent. I will come at my own expense and I will volunteer time to fix this place up. I don't want the money. I just want you guys to understand that you can be a better place.
You know, it's just a suggestion. I could be wrong, but these people,
I know, I know, I know.
I think it's better. It's better if you tell them you'll give me the money, even though you want to do it with like full heart, they just don't like it. It's nice.
My dad said the same thing. My dad also told me don't do it with them. Because my dad also told me that they won't look. They literally took my proposal, took my name off the proposal, and put this guy Bilal on it. Took my proposal, took a different guy on it, one of their kids, probably, or somebody else's kid, right, on it, and they will push this project. And my dad told me they will never give you credit. And I told my dad that this was never about credit. This was about doing something that's in the best interest of Pakistan. If they want to take the credit for it, good for them. Do something worthy, and I'll let you take the credit. I don't care. But we have to fix this place. We cannot just think that, like, okay, we had one good strategic win recently against India, but we are so far behind in every other category. Education, electricity, literacy, power, you name it, we're behind. We did well because we got Chinese weapons and Chinese support and the Turkish support and all these other countries willing to support us. Why? Because they know that if India beats Pakistan, India will be the superpower in the region. And they cannot have India rise to be the superpower in the region. So China helps Pakistan to keep India at bay, and Turkey helps Pakistan keep India at bay because they all have their own global ambitions and they don't want to, you know, step on too many toes.
Pakistan also has a ticking time bomb with the rivers.
But China announced that if India stopped the water into Pakistan, then China will stop the water into India. Two can play the game. Two can play the game. When I went to Gwadar, half the people that were on my flight were Chinese. That was another eye-opening experience for me. They built the entire port, the entire area around the port. It's heavily, heavily guarded security-wise. But it was incredible. And China will finish the road. They will finish the road. And because all of these other countries, Azerbaijan and Tajikistan and Uzbekistan and all these countries, they don't have access to water. They have to ship their products out of Gwadar. That is how this is going to work. And it is only a matter of time until it works. And Pakistan moved the military base from Quetta to Gwadar. They moved the entire military base from Quetta to Gwadar. So it's only a matter of time until Gwadar is stable. But by the way, do I buy land in Gwadar? No, that is not a good idea. What is a good idea? Import, export, and use Gwadar as the export port. Use Gwadar as the port to export from instead of Karachi, because Karachi is a mess. And what I saw as a possible opportunity in Gwadar was there is currently no cement factory or like blocks, like, they make blocks, cinder blocks. There's no company that makes cement or cinder blocks in Gwadar. All of that stuff comes from either Quetta or Karachi or Iran, because Iran's close by. And there's no local manufacturing of this. But there may not be enough demand for it either. That's probably why.
If someone was to, let's say, if they want to start a full-fledged company in Pakistan, in terms of business opportunities, what do you think is the industry it should go in?
And
That's going to be average
medical supplies, absolutely.
inside Pakistan.
Inside Pakistan,
Yeah, one we're going to do, which is medical supply import.
if we're talking about inside Pakistan, education,
Like schools and stuff.
schools, tutoring centers, stuff like that is highly profitable. Highly profitable, especially if you can build a YouTube following and a following. It's very profitable. I think coffee shops. Coffee is becoming big in Pakistan.
Really?
Big time. I went.
Are people tired of chai? What's happening?
No, the American Western. Yes, people think they want to be sophisticated. They think chai is.
They want to be in finance. Yeah. They needed something to separate themselves.
So you go to a coffee shop. A cup of coffee is 700 rupees. A cup of chai is 70 rupees.
Yeah.
Status.
It's about status.
It's like a Starbucks, right?
When I meet people in Pakistan, instead of them inviting me to the local chai wala, which is what I would prefer, I prefer chai. They think, oh, this guy must be from America. He must be so sophisticated. So they invite me to the Western brand, like the coffee bean and tea company. And over there, a cup of coffee and a donut is like 1,400 rupees.
You know what's crazy thing?
I went to Tim Hortons in Lahore. The line was out the door. But the local chaiwala is sitting empty.
There's so much complex this idea. As my dad, personal story. We went like 2 years ago to Pakistan, and there's this one, Chaudhry, you can say, like, the rich guy in the village, and he's friends with him, so he was gonna go meet him. There was no car available at hand, so there was one of my cousins, he had a motorcycle, so he was going by. My dad just sat behind him. The point is just to go meet him. The guy saw him and he said, "Anwar, that's my dad's name. What a disappointment. You went to America and you're still coming on a motorcycle." They want me to come in like no, right? You want to come on like those
Because over there, that's how you establish status.
yeah.
You cannot be seen as like a poor nigga on bicycle.
Exactly.
And to other people, when they meet me, they're so confused. Like
Yeah.
I sit on the floor and will eat food with people.
Yeah.
My driver, I have a full-time driver when I'm in Karachi. So one night, I was hungry and I hadn't had nihari in Karachi yet. And so I told him, I said, "Yo, let's go eat." And he comes to and Abdul Sattar is an incredible guy. Okay, so like he comes to pick me up every day at noon, and he's with me no matter how late it is at night. So sometimes it's 10 p.m., sometimes it's 2 a.m., sometimes it's 5 a.m., sometimes it's 8 p.m. Right? So this was like 11 o'clock at night. I was like, let's go. I want to eat some nihari. And so when we got there, he was sitting in the car. And I got out of the car and he stayed in the car. And I was like, let's go. And he's like, where? And I was like, come, eat with me. And he's like, sir, yahan pe log aisa nahi karte hain. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, in all of my years, no one who's ever been no one who's ever been my like employer has taken me out for food. Has taken me out for food. Like, why are you doing this? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you're just another person. I'm sure you're hungry. Let's go eat something. And we sat and we had a conversation, and he said he's a former ISI guy in Pakistan, of the military, and telling me all these things. He's like, I've been in the military, and I've been in all of these years of being at things that I've never had an experience where someone who's like, I guess, a superior, like, person will be like, come and have a meal with me and sit at the same table and like break bread together and like,
Dialforlaw.com. 833 dial for law. For law, dial for law. For law, dial for law. For all your legal needs, dial for law. Injured, dial for law. Hurt at work, dial for law. Arrested, dial for law. For law, dial for law. For law, dial for law. 833 dial for law. Dialforlaw.com.
All right, my name is Wajeeh Iqbal from New Jersey. Why Wajeeh Bai, I guess. Back in the day, I've retired that moniker.
There we go.
Hawaii, I'm alumni. Yes,
Mashallah, mashallah.
and that's
DOD. Don't let it fool you for a second. Don't let him fool you for a second.
what do you want to know?
What do you do nowadays? Chain, right?
I'm manufacturing. I work.
You're in supply chain.
I am in
Yeah. I work for a manufacturing company that builds servers. So for it's AI servers. We just got bought out by AMD recently.
That's one of my one of the girls' teams I coach. She was one of the girls. Sorry.
I'm a part of Sabil in New Jersey. That's something interesting.
Owner of Sabil.
One of the hackers.
You're part of Soul Fried Chicken.
Yes, soul fried chicken as well.
Oh, owner in Soul Fried Chicken?
Part owner, yeah.
There you go. Subhanallah.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You are
We're learning from you, man.
You're an
So-
entrepreneur.
Trying to be. I need a mentor like you.
No,
Right.
we're friends. And we're not, whatever. No one is. I'm as much a mentee as you would be. I learn as much from people as I give to people.
It's two-way street, right?
Two-way street.
Yeah.
So you want to buy a farm too?
No, I'm inspired by your farm. I wanted to learn how it
It's
happens.
not really a farm, but I bought some recreational land in upstate New York. It is tillable land, so technically, I guess it's technically farmland. I could make it farmland. There's a stream on it with like a pond, and then that cuts through the property. So you have to go to the other side. We don't have a bridge yet, but you have to get to the other side of the water.
Okay.
And it has a cabin, small cabin. It's like 12 by 16, so that's very small. Probably a little bit bigger than this booth. And it was very cheap, $34,000.
Oh.
Cheers. What's the deal? Why is the price so?
No, it didn't have power. Didn't have. It was just an empty, bare cabin. I do have very large Christmas trees. Very, very large. However, the ulama say that I cannot sell the trees as Christmas trees if I know that they will be used as Christmas trees. And I believe they are right. And so I will not do it. I don't always agree with the ulama, but
Yeah.
when they're right, they're right.
What if it's a holiday tree? A generic holiday tree? Would that work?
That's what my dad told me to call it and sell the tree. He said you can sell the tree and donate the money to charity. But I said, look, I just don't want to touch it. Let the natural tree stay in the natural place.
Do you feel like it's being overgrown? Because I have a couple of topics I'd love to talk about, like goatscaping. Ever heard of goatscaping?
I would love to have some goats come, but the problem is I'm all the way in upstate New York, so to get the goats there is very expensive. I have to find someone local. So we'll see.
I have 2 goats right now.
Yeah, mashallah.
My father-in-law has 2 acres of land behind his house, and it was getting overrun, and we couldn't mow it because there's a whole bunch of building materials. So I got 2 goats. I spent like 2 summers fencing in the area, and now the goats just keep it nice and clean, barren, like as if I just mowed the lawn.
And you kill them?
No, their job is to be lawnmowers around the clock. So my dad is waiting for the opportunity for me to say yes. I'm like,
It's a good idea.
but goatscaping, it's a thing, right?
There was some farm in New Jersey, or as on Facebook Marketplace.
A Wad's farm, right? A Wad's farm? Yeah. We did a program with them. They do a lot of stuff. They do like horseback riding. That for community space.
Jersey?
Yeah, we would love to have you. But
Rent would be cheaper.
rent will be cheaper.
Rent would not be cheaper. I live in a 3-bedroom apartment in Flushing, New York City. I pay $1,650.
$1,650, really? Like our grandfather, father?
I moved in 2021.
Really? Okay, yeah, you're not getting that in Jersey.
And I only pay for electricity and internet. I don't even have to pay for heat, gas, nothing. Water.
Yeah, okay, you should say where you are then. You get a second house in Jersey.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Last thing I was gonna plug. We had the YM alumni session yesterday.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, I think he stopped by. I think he was stopping by. I had an idea. We should do a retreat. Alumni retreat.
Yeah,
They're inviting people to YMLC now,
yeah.
but I think a retreat would be good.
Yeah, the alumni.
Yeah, I think the next step is doing a retreat. Be like a weekend thing. Maybe you could do it at your farm. We can get Hassan Dawud.
My farm is. I only have one cabin.
We can do like tents.
I don't think tents are gonna work with kids. I think we need a.
You want to like a family thing?
Yeah, so I think we need a proper cabins and bathrooms.
Yeah. Let's make it happen.
I would like to do it with like
With family? Yeah, that's a good idea.
because this way my wife can get to know the other wives, and my kids can. This is how Ikna started. Yeah, the kids.
And it kind of does this. They do family amps.
They do.
So
But it should be a YMGA family camp or like an alumni run.
make it happen. I'm gonna pitch it to Anis. Will probably task me to do it. I'm gonna delegate it to you.
You'll make
And
it.
But I'm not lying. No one wants me to do anything. I literally came to IFA convention and had to beg them for 2 sessions for Bitcoin. They gave me a room all the way in the corner.
You got the role we used to get.
They gave me a room in the corner that I filled up twice to capacity last year and this year, same problem. And but they're giving like NFT people like the stage and like
I don't know.
it's they like yelling yesterday. I saw the video.
Oh yes, I saw that.
Where was that? Was that why?
I think it was a YC session. It was like after Sami Hamdi.
What was why?
I don't know. I
I just came on the stage.
apparently he didn't like something that Sami Hamdi has said, so he stormed the stage to correct him. That's still. I think the video's been deleted. I've seen this.
I'll say this. Sammy Hamdi, I love the guy. Okay, what you need to hear it in a British accent for us to actually do it.
Yes.
He was a guy on Twitter that was just posting anti-MBS stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then he showed up on one podcast.
Thank you, Muslim. Yeah.
And then he's the new Nomali Khan. So that's what Ikra did. It made him the new replacement of Nomali Khan. You know it's true. You're laughing because you know it's true. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time until this blows up in our face again. We keep crying that we create the celebrity culture, but then we are the ones who don't create the celebrity culture.
I think we've learned a lot through the Maikon. But
How will Fall actually show up?
day one, I saw a picture. He was there. Soccer fall, basketball player.
Yeah.
Super like the 7'5".
Oh, I thought the super tall guy.
All right. Have all my family waiting for long enough. I appreciate this.
Good time.
I see it was a great conflict.
Dialforlaw.com. 833 dial for law. For law, dial for law. For law, dial for law. For all your legal needs, dial for law. Injured, dial for law. Hurt at work, dial for law. Arrested, dial for law. For law, dial for law. For law, dial for law. 833 dial for law. Dialforlaw.com.
I'm battling COVID-20 right now.
COVID-25?
It mutated. COVID-50 at the IGNA convention.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's it. I'm trying to look through the.
I feel like I'm going into surgery
Why?
with these fluorescent lights.
I can make it yellow if
You don't have photophobia.
Yeah?
It's
You're such a photogenic person.
I'm drugged up right now.
I know you're drugged up most of the time.
So tell me about give me 3 reasons why every Muslim should have Bitcoin. Give me the elevator pitch.
It's an anti-riba monetary protocol.
Okay.
There's 2 core problems in the world. Number 1, that humanity is at war with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because of riba.
Mm.
And number 2, which I believe is the cause of the humiliation of the Muslims. Oh, sorry, I've been talking a lot. The cause of humiliation. No, I'm good. The cause of the humiliation of the Muslims is that we don't give zakat properly. I think that those are the core 2 problems.
So because we're not fulfilling our core tenets of faith, zakat, our whole ummah is getting the barakahs.
The barakah is gone. We have the numbers. We have 2 billion people, but the barakah is not there. And they had less than 500 people during the Battle of Badr, but the barakah was there.
That's a good point. I think that
What is causing us to lose the barakah is that we are not fulfilling the faith. And I honestly didn't think about this until I had Bitcoin and I had some money. Is that, I grew up a poor kid from Queens, I grew up a poor kid from Queens. And it wasn't until I had money or had some money that people kind of opened up to me. And then they told me about how they have money. But people don't talk about money until they know that you have money.
yeah,
Because they think somehow that if they talk about it, they're gatekeepers. They think that somehow if they talk about it, it's going to diminish them and it's going to increase you, and they don't want that. So
there's a lot of jealousy,
Jealous-
envy.
gatekeeping.
There's a lot of hoarding of wealth in the
Exactly.
community.
And so people started telling me, like, I'm very passionate and talk about zakat. So people started telling me, like, oh, you're into this Bitcoin thing. Technically you could give it to me and I can give it back to you. And then you haven't had it for a year. Or you could, let's say, decide to sell your Bitcoin for 10 minutes
And then
and then rebuy it. And then you haven't had it for a year. So people come up with all these like mental gymnastics to avoid
getting
the fard.
yeah.
It's like the people who say to me, I have the money and I have the means, but I don't want to go for Hajj right now because it's hot.
Yeah.
I'll wait till it's in December.
But they'll go to Disney World.
But they'll go to Disney World.
Yeah.
And they'll go to Dubai.
They go
They'll
to-
go to Qatar. But when I talk to them about going for Hajj, fulfilling the farm,
They'll come up with a million
there's
excuses.
no excuses why it can't happen.
Yeah. I would say I would say there's two extremes in the community. I was at a fundraiser recently, and I do think there's a lot of Muslims with wealth, and they are intentionally, they don't want to be seen because they don't want to show off as well.
I understand that part, right? Like I drive a 2014 Toyota Sienna with 200,000 miles.
Yeah, you live a frugal lifestyle,
I live below.
like
means-
like Warren Buffett.
Why do I need a new car? My car is driving fine.
But I would say that mindset is not really common amongst people who are wealthy. Most people want material.
But that's what Bitcoin changes.
Yeah.
Bitcoin talks about time preference.
Time
Sac-
preference.
sa-
Yeah.
Sacrificing the present for the future benefit. And, and I was talking to Arif Pai from Brooklyn. I was trying to explain to him Bitcoin. And I was telling him, some people bought Bitcoin very early. And he said, yeah, but if you had $100 million, you wouldn't be here. I said, what makes you think that?
What do you mean you wouldn't be here?
Like, you wouldn't be here now.
Oh.
I was like, what makes you think that?
Yeah, why not?
I was like, there's a lot of rich people here
Yeah.
that this is their tribe.
Yeah.
This is your community, and you're here. Like, I know a guy who was here who's probably worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Hundreds of millions of
What
dollars.
did he say to that?
And he's just walking. If I showed you him, you would not
You would never know.
never know. He's wearing normal clothes, has no security guard,
Yeah.
is just walking down the street like everybody else.
Follow up.
Why would anyone who has money why must you change yourself?
Yeah.
You don't have to change. You could still okay. The only thing that I've changed is that I went from buying ready-made shalwar kameez to custom tailored shalwar kameez. It's about the same price.
Yeah.
Maybe an extra 500 rupees because I'm buying it in Pakistan. I'm not even bringing it in there.
Yeah.
Right. So
Like there's nothing wrong with dressing nice. These where the guy had the good shoes.
I mean, if I was dressing poorly, then That'd be a problem.
And actually, it's encouraged if you do have wealth that you also
Spend it.
spend it and show it, because then the people who need help can come to you. The Sahabas that had it, it was known which ones were wealthy. So Pasam was able to go to them to get like resources, that he needed. And yeah, I don't know, man. I think that
So
yeah, I need to get more Bitcoin. I'll be honest. I've been a part of two crypto companies.
you were there, literally there,
I was
where Ahmed Bukhaya shook me
yeah.
and was like, "You got to get this."
That was when you converted.
That's when
You left fiat for
That's when I heard such an impassionate plea, but I didn't click. It wasn't until I went to Jerusalem and I saw the Palestinians that it clicked.
yeah.
But when somebody so passionate was like, "You got to get it," it made me realize when it clicked. It made me realize that no, he was right. I need to get it. And so
And you've been accumulating now what? It's been 10 years?
8 years.
8 years. Yeah.
I first started buying
know,
Bitcoin when I was $2,700.
Wow. $2,700.
Yeah. But I didn't buy enough. I listened to the naysayers and the haters being like, "What are you doing? Why are you buying this internet money?" The ICNA people who you've been a witness to these arguments.
I think is a lot of when they don't understand a topic or a subject, they just write it off as it's not permissible. But if you start talking to people about blockchain, about crypto assets, then it's like they don't really have the institutional knowledge of how things work. But there's a lot of assumptions,
There's a lot of arrogance.
and they just associated with the black market and all this stuff.
There is a
You would say like
an arrogance that goes along with, "Oh, if I don't understand it, if I didn't come to it, if I wasn't the first one to get to it, who the hell are you to tell me?"
who the hell are you to tell me? Especially if you're a lot younger.
Yeah.
Because that already exists.
Yeah.
That
Or
superiority.
even equivalent. I have friends, close friends, old friends, who will never believe me. I had a situation that happened earlier to me today,
Yeah.
yesterday and today. Somebody I'd known for 25 years. Okay, I was talking to another brother. He wanted to trigger me. He's like, "Oh, Bitcoin is worthless. Bitcoin is garbage. Oh, Bitcoin is not jais. Oh, you're doing something wrong. Oh, this." I didn't even respond to him. That's yesterday. Okay, I just walked away. This morning, after the session, this was after this. Today, as I was walking in this morning at 8 o'clock, he was there. He was my witness. So I was walking in. The same guy came up to me, shook my hand, and he said, "I got one over on you, didn't I?" And so the guy says, he said, "I went up to you." He said, "I got one over on you." And I didn't even say anything. I started walking away. And he goes, "Oh, you're doing something wrong with Bitcoin. It's haram, blah, blah." I said, "I'm not going to even respond to you. That's how dumb you are." And I just walked away. This is somebody I've known for 25 years. The level of jealousy or aggressiveness.
25 years?
And you're willing to burn down the bridge.
That's resent.
Just so that I can have one over on you. That's what jealousy is like. That's what hasad is. There's this envy of, "Oh, this guy got ahead and I'm behind. Oh, I'm going to get one over on you."
See, that's what.
And so what's crazy is this person who I've known for 25 years is willing to burn down the bridge right now when I'm 37, and he will need me for the next 30 years when he needs a lawyer. And this person has literally called me on multiple occasions for help when it came to a legal help issue. And I answered the phone. Why? Because he was my old friend. And now he just burned down the bridge.
Yeah, he just forgot.
He just forgot 25 years of friendship to try to get one over on me. And you think I'm going to be friends with this person? No, never again. I'll just say salam and walk away. I'm never going to have a conversation with you again.